So is it Executor or is it Executor? Pronunciation in the Galactic Empire matters. All right, we need to talk. We're not talking about Lego pricing. We're not talking about UCS scale creep. We're talking about the pronunciation of the word Executor. In particular, the Executor. Darth Vader's flagship, the Super Star Destroyer, the most aggressively long triangle in cinematic history, because somehow, we as a fandom cannot agree on how to say the one word. There are two pronunciations floating around the Lego Star Wars world. One, Executor, like executioner, violent, ominous, appropriate for a ship that exists solely to intimidate entire star systems. And then two, Executor, like the executor of a will, a man in a suit, holding paperwork, asking if you filled out Form 1138B. And this is where things get interesting, because if you've watched enough Lego YouTube, you'll notice something. And if you didn't, you will now. So I recently had the opportunity to meet with David Hall, Lego ambassador, the owner of Solid Brick Studios, and one of the premier Lego Star Wars experts, and asked him how he pronounces the name of the Super Star Destroyer.
Hey, Brian.
Hi, David.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, man.
Thanks for giving me the time.
Yeah.
So we're here at the Atlanta BrickCon, and we're going to talk about the Super Star Destroyer. The Super Star Destroyer has a particular name, and I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways. Mm-hmm. And would you mind?
I just like calling it the Executor, just like simply that. I mean, You could call it the Super Star Destroyer, but I always like, it's the Executor.
The Executor, not the Executor?
I mean, no, I thought that's Darth Vader's like Imperial Star Destroyer, or
to me it's the
Executor.
Executor. Right. When I hear Executor, I'm thinking like it's the HR and accounting ship of the Empire, not the like super destructive, world-ending, spaceship.
Yeah.
That is Darth Vader's
master class ship.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's kind of what I was it's in the back of my head. I'm like, it can go both ways, So at this point, David thinks I'm absolutely insane. But am I? So Executor versus Executor. Same ship, wildly different energy. What the ship is supposed to be. So let's ground ourselves in canon for a second. The Executor class Super Star Destroyer is 19 kilometers long, Vader's personal flagship, a symbol of fear, literally named Executor because it executes the Emperor's will. That alone should push us toward the more dramatic pronunciation. When Palpatine names something, he's not thinking, yes, a tasteful neutral name that could double as a mid-level legal profession. No. He's thinking, what word makes planets surrender faster? That word is Executor, as in execution. But then, the other pronunciation shows up, and yet, every so often you hear it. The Executor Super Star Destroyer, and suddenly the ship changes. It's no longer Vader's flagship, it's now the Imperial Human Resources Cruiser, the Accounting Division Dreadnought, the ship that audits your planetary budgets and denies your PTO requests. If you pronounce it like the executor of a will, then I'm sorry. Canon demands consequences. Because that means the ship's real mission isn't planetary domination. It's filing death certificates, closing estates, making sure Alderaan's paperwork was processed correctly. The logical conclusion? It's the Imperial Dunder Mifflin. Let's follow this logic all the way through. If the Executor is pronounced like a legal role, executor, then aboard the ship you absolutely have cubicles, beige walls, a break room that smells like popcorn and fish, and a copier that never works. Darth Vader isn't force choking officers anymore. He's leaning over a cubicle saying, I sense your expense report is late. Palpatine isn't the Dark Lord of the Sith. He's regional manager. And Vader? Vader is assistant regional manager. He insists there's a difference. This is no longer the Empire. This is Dunder Mifflin, Coruscant branch. So I say Executor with menace, with intent. Like the ship might personally come after me for mispronouncing it if I do. But David, he says a little more casually. And that's not wrong, but it changes the vibe. Because depending on how you say it, the ship either A, looms ominously over the galaxy, or B, looms over a spreadsheet. Same Lego set, but with very different careers. And Lego makes it worse. Lego doesn't help us here at all. They print Executor, Executor, on the box. No pronunciation guide, no phonetic spelling, just vibes. And Lego fans, Being who we are, immediately split into factions. Forums, comment sections, pronunciation wars, more intense than the Clone Wars debates. All over a ship that crashes into the Death Star because the accounting department failed to account for gravity. So my official stance, because this is important, here's my opinion. And I will die on this Star Destroyer-shaped hill. If you pronounce it like the Executor of a Will, then Canon requires that the Executor class Super Star Destroyer handles Imperial payroll, Stormtrooper benefits, Death Star insurance claims, and exit interviews. Very brief ones at that. If you pronounce it like the Executioner, then yes, it is Vader's flagship, a terror of the galaxy, and one of the coolest ship names in sci-fi history. Both pronunciations may be linguistically valid, but only one comes with a cape. So next time you hear someone say Executor or Executor differently than you do, remember, they may not be wrong. They might just be imagining a very different ship. One person sees a symbol of Imperial dominance and another sees the ship that reminds you your TPS reports are due by Friday. And honestly, there's room in the galaxy for both of us. Just don't be surprised if one day Darth Vader calls you into his office and slides a performance review across the desk. I find your lack of productivity disturbing. Okay, so what is it? 1, Executor, or 2, Executor? Let us know down in the comments. Hopefully you liked this video. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This way you can watch more great LEGO content. And thank you for watching my first YouTube video. See you in the next one.